Alright, welcome back to the channel everyone. Today we're going to be checking out what is going on with the JASMY price. Now, I'm going to switch up the JASMY content a little bit today. Instead of looking at this on the normal Japanese candlesticks, we are going to be providing a fresh perspective on the Heikin-Ashi candles, which I feel like is a good thing to do. Once you've been looking at a chart one way for a very long period of time, it is easy to get caught up in what you think could be going on. However, looking at these markets in a fresh perspective does provide a lot of key insights on how we could hopefully improve our trading plans within our next trade for JASMY. So let's talk about what's going on right now. For the start of the video, I am going to switch over to the Japanese candlesticks, and then we can focus on these macro momentum shifts that I want to talk about on the Heikin-Ashi. So to start with, to say the obvious, yes, we have been stopped out of this trade, unfortunately. It is a good thing we included this stop loss in this trade, because we did get in on this JASMY trade down here just before 1.8 cent. If I was still in my trade, I would have been at break even slash I would have been in a loss by now. However, we did at least get stopped out in a 7% profit. So honestly, I really didn't want to see this. I did not expect that JASMY was going to be coming back down to these levels. However, it is what it is. The market has shown us that it's bearish. We had a huge move up for JASMY. When we were all the way up here at 5 cent, I was calling for these lower levels. Once we came down to these lower levels, we got a really decent area where we were able to trade on JASMY. However, we had that impulse, we had a retest of the 618, it was confirmed as resistance, and now we have re-sweeped to the floor and taken out the 786. So JASMY, it's very unfortunate, but it is dying right now. It is on its last legs. The chart does not look good. Let's just be honest, guys. So we have hit my stop loss. We have taken out my stop loss. So I will disinclude that. It is a good thing that we, like I said, it's a great thing that we included that stop loss. I'm a little bit salty that we didn't take profit at the 58% increase. That was definitely in hindsight. Obviously, I probably should have taken some profit after this bearish retest of the 618. However, I genuinely thought JASMY was going to keep on moving up. The market cap right now is chips, like it is dirt cheap. I think the market cap for JASMY is lower than 100 million right now. I think it's in the 90 million kind of range. So very cheap stuff going on right now. We do have a lot of areas where we could potentially come down to. For example, you have your lows down here at 1.7. I'd say that's a strong area of support. However, if we do take them out, I really don't see anything for JASMY apart from this move down to these lows that we've got down here once again at 1 cent. If we do take a micro fib, you can actually see 9.8 cent would also be respected with the 1.618 Fibonacci extension target. So we could definitely see a lot more blood in the streets coming for JASMY. I do personally think JASMY is going to come down another 5 or 6% or so before we do have a bottom. Worst comes to worst, I imagine we could be moving down to this 1 cent level. Definitely not what you want to see. Also, another hugely bearish signal. The squeeze bomb has just flipped over to the bullish side, and by itself that would be a good thing, but because the price action is dumping so hard, this means by tomorrow we're probably going to have a bearish candle, meaning we're going to have bearish continuation. And that's probably going to mean that the bottom is not in for JASMY. So I really don't like this setup that we're seeing with JASMY right now. However, it is time to reflect on what we learned. It is time to look at the market from a new perspective and see how we can better ourselves and get into a better trade in the next time for JASMY. So like I said, when we were all the way up here at 5 cent, I was telling you, I'm sitting on the sidelines, I'm sitting and I'm waiting for a bottoming signal so I can play from a position of strength. I waited from 5 cent. People told me at 3 cent that that was the bottom and we were going to reverse out of here. And we came all the way down to my price targets of 1.7 cent. At the time, that looked like a very strong bottoming signal. We bottomed, we came up, got a rejection from the 786, made a higher low and then smashed through it. So it was looking pretty good. Since then, we came back down, we broke through it, and we're now looking bearish for JASMY. So it is what it is. Let's try and look at this from a fresh perspective, and I want to see how the Heikin-Ashis characterize this uptrend and downtrend. And as you can see, Heikin-Ashis normally only work on the weeklies and higher time frames, but the daily Heikin-Ashis on JASMY work like an absolute charm. This is so good. You can see this uptrend was just a sea of green, and as soon as you have the downtrend, you see a huge tsunami of red candles. You can also see if you just buy if you buy in after a couple of days of pumping and then you sell after a couple of days of dumping, you normally always catch pretty much the exact top and the bottom of these. So say for example on the Heikin-Ashis, if you bought after, let's say, 2 days of continuation pumping, or shall we say 3 days? To be fair, 3 days would have put you here, 4 days. So I don't think buying 4 days would have worked, and historically when you're in these big downtrends, you do see a lot of fake outs on the 2 day. However, do you see fake outs without doji candles? No, you don't. So we've never had an uptrend where we've had, you know, bullish candles like this for more than 2 days without putting in what's it called? A doji candle. So we do not include these doji candles within our analysis. When you're in an uptrend, when you're in a downtrend, if you see a doji candle, just ignore it, pretend it's not there. So for example, you know, you've got this sea of red characterizing this downtrend for JASMY, and then you can see we put in these 2 doji candles. Once again, you ignore those are doji candles, we don't want to see those, we don't care about these. The downtrend continues. Then you can see once again you've got another 2 doji candles like this with a thin body and a big wick on the upside and the bottom. You can see 2 fake outs here, we would have ignored those. The downtrend continues, and as again here you can see 2 doji candles, you would have ignored those. The downtrend continues. You saw 1 doji candle here, you would have ignored that on the first front. However, after the first 2 days of this bullish price action right down here, you would have bought in. So for example, you would have bought on the opening of the 3rd Heikin-Ashi candle, and that would have rode you all the way up, a 264% increase. But how do you know that's the top? How do you know when to exit the market? Well, on the upside, we enter after 2 consecutive bullish candles which are not doji candles. On the downside, it seems like even if it is a doji candle, it is probably best to exit. I don't find any I don't find, so you've got 1 doji, you would have ignored that. 1 bearish candle followed up with a doji, followed up by another doji, so you would have ignored that. You didn't have 2 consecutive candles. Then you had 1 bearish candle followed with continuation. So it honestly, with the doji candles to the downside, I think it works when we're in big uptrends. However, you'd want to see 2 bearish candles in a row, and let's just say you'd want to see them be normal candles and not just doji candles, because like I said, in this instance here, the only one instance that I can find, you did see consecutive bearish candles. So let's say you got in on your next micro pump. You would have bought after the first two bullish candles, you would have bought on the 3rd bullish candle. This would have rode you up about 30%. But like I said, when do you know when to sell? You would have sold on the 3rd opening of the 2nd candle. So this one actually only brought you a tiny bit of profit. You can see from the place where the 3rd candle opened was right here, and when the 3rd candle to the downside opened, we were literally right here. So you would have got away with about a 1% move to the upside. Not very impressive for that move. However, with these big swings to the upside, it definitely works. And sitting on the sidelines while we're seeing these seas of red with the Heikin-Ashi candles definitely works as well. So I'm going to be keeping my eyes on these Heikin-Ashi candles for JASMY. I think it's going to be a great region to enter the market again once we see some bullish continuation. And historically, JASMY's normally pretty good in a downtrend. You can see it's just a sea of red. We have these doji candles that we ignore. Once you see a couple of green candles, you know that is the time to enter the market. That's what I'll be looking for JASMY. Really simple update today. Like I said at the start of the video, If you're a little bit confused on how these Heikin-Ashi candles work, or if you're interested and simply want to learn more, check out my educational playlist. I have a ton of good videos on there targeted for people who are both beginners and experts alike. If you want to find my Heikin-Ashi video on how to trade Heikin-Ashis, you will find it in the educational video there. Yeah, I mean, that's really all I've got. There's a lot of selling volume coming in. We're unfortunately not looking the greatest for JASMY right now. We are looking pretty diabolical. However, like I said, looking at the market perspective through the eyes of the Heikin-Ashi candles is really a breath of fresh air. I hope you have found some value in this. I personally will be keeping my eyes on these Heikin-Ashis, seeing how they do play out in the future, and hopefully these will catch us a very nice bottoming signal on JASMY the next time we do plan on making a JASMY trade. So just to be completely transparent, I was in a JASMY trade before this. I was stopped out in a profit. I am currently not holding any JASMY whatsoever. So my my technical analysis is 100% unbiased. I do not gain anything if JASMY goes up or down. I honestly just kind of really want to see a move to the upside or the downside either way. But yeah, I don't see any bottoming signals coming in for JASMY yet. I'd really want to see a confirmed bottom around this region. If we have a pushback up, we can talk about entering back in on our trade for JASMY. However, as of the time of recording this, it does seem like we are in a pretty steep downtrend, and the trend is your friend until the end, so I don't plan on trying to catch the falling knife. That is all I've got for you for JASMY. Once again, hope you found that useful. None of this is financial advice, it is just my opinion on the market. And to wrap up the video, we have finally, the past couple of days to be fair, we have just launched the Cowboy Discord. So if you do want to come and join the Discord, the link will be in the description. It is going to be a great place for the community to share time-sensitive information, share cool charts, chart setups, and everything of the sort. So if you are interested in that, go check out the Discord. Hope to see you all in there. That's obviously all I've got for you today. Once again, not financial advice. Cowboy out. And yeah, peace.